Hello, my dear children. Welcome to online English class sponsored by OSHEPA in the Department of Schools and Mass Education, Government of Odisha. How are you, children? You must be very fine. Some of you must be, most of you must be attending schools, isn't it? Okay, anyhow, you all must be busy with your studies, simultaneously taking care of your health. Okay, children, I'm so happy to be in front of you to present you a very beautiful and interesting topic in English. I am Srinivas Patnaik, Assistant Teacher, Government High School, Bisamkatak, in the district of Raigada. I have come here to present you about a very interesting topic in English. And as you know, we live in a great country, and the name of our country is India. India is a great country in which people of different caste, different religions, different localities live in, and we all are proud of ourselves. We have a rich heritage, and we are always proud of it, isn't it? So now I'm going to present you a video clip which gives a glimpse, a view of our rich cultural heritage. Let us watch it. Okay? Okay, children, did you watch the video? Wasn't it interesting? Yes, it was. Now, what did you find in that video clip? Festivals of different types of different religions, isn't it? So, you see, this is also a symbol of a festival. Yesterday, we celebrated this festival, isn't it? Very interesting. Most of you must have celebrated. Now, so we could come to know that different people observe different festivals, and now we are going to talk about a very beautiful and interesting topic which talks about the festivals of Northeast India. Do you have a topic like that? Just go to your Skills of Communication English book, open at page 47. You will find it. Okay, did you open it, children? Okay. Now this is a very interesting topic which is likely to give us some knowledge regarding the northeastern states of India. Now, before going into the details of the topic, let us try to understand about the author, the writer. The writer of this topic is Dr. Rajesh Verma, who is an associate professor. In colleges and universities, you find professors, associate professors, readers, lecturers, and so on. Professors Pradhyapaka, Saha Pradhyapaka, associate professor. He is an associate professor in the Department of History in Government Model College SEPA of Kameng district in Arunachal Pradesh. Now he has written so many articles about the culture of the people of Northeast India. Now this is a very interesting topic. Let us go into it. Now, as you know, this lesson, you can see the lesson has 16 paragraphs, and let us try to go into paragraph by paragraph. Now, let's deal with paragraph 1. I'm reading out. Just listen to me carefully and try to understand. Paragraph 1. The Northeast India is a collective name for the easternmost parts of India, representing both a geographic and administrative division of the country. The region comprises 8 states, namely Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Sikkim, and Tripura. The contiguous 7 states, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Nagaland, are commonly described as the land of 7 sisters because of their interdependence on each other, isn't it? On the other hand, Sikkim is geographically not a contiguous part of the Northeast region. It is separated from the Northeast by Siliguri corridor. So it is not included in the land of 7 sisters. However, Sikkim has happily taken up the role of being a little brother to the amazing 7 sisters. Now, I hope you could have an idea of the paragraph, and let us go into the words that you come across for the first time, see for the first time, which may be difficult to understand. Now, for your sake, I'm trying to expose the meaning of different new unfamiliar words. Now, the first word is collective. Collective means as a group, samuhiko. Okay. Easternmost means situated farthest to the east. Situated farthest to the east. Representing, constitute or consist of. Okay. Now, geographic, that means which is related to land. ଆମେ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ତାକୁ ଭୌଗୋଳିକ କହୁ ନୁହଁ କି? Administrative ସେମିତି ପ୍ରଶାସନିକ, related to administration, ପ୍ରଶାସନିକ. Region means one of the areas of a country or a state, one of the areas. ଅଞ୍ଚଳ. Now, comprise means formed from. Formed from. Okay. Contiguous means touching the borders of a state or a town, etc. Sanglagna, touching the areas. Now, interdependence means depending on one another. Paraspara nirbharshila. Corridor is a long, narrow strip of land. Amazing, obviously wonderful, attractive. isn't it? So now perhaps it will be easier on your part to understand. Let us go deep into the paragraph. Okay. Hmm. Now here we go. The paragraph is about Northeast India. Northeast means, just if you put a cross mark, then the right hand side is Northeast, not to me. So northeastern part of India, that is called Northeast India. Now it's a collective name of the easternmost parts of India. Number one is the collective name of easternmost parts of India. Represents both the geographic and administrative division of the country. It represents the Northeast India represents both the geographic and administrative divisions of the country. Now it comprises 8 states. It's very easy to remember those 8 states. 2 A's, 3 M's, NST. Now the 2 A's are Arunachal Pradesh, Assam. 3 M's are Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram. N for Nagaland, S for Sikkim, and T for Tripura. So in this way you can remember double A, triple N, M, and NST. So these are the 8 states. The Northeast India comprises 8 states: Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, and Tripura. Okay. Now, out of these 8 states, 7 of the 8 states are regarded as the land of 7 sisters. Which are those 7 states? Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Manipur, Nagaland, and Tripura. So all excepting Sikkim are treated as the land of 7 sisters. And what about Sikkim? Sikkim is the non-contiguous state. Non-contiguous because it does not touch the boundary line of any of those states. That's why it is separated. It is not included in those 7 sisters. So it is separated by the Siliguri corridor. Siliguri corridor. There is a corridor having the wide of 22 kilometers. That particular corridor divides or separates Sikkim with the other states of the Northeast India. That's why it is not included in the 7 sisters. But however, it takes the role of a little brother to all those 7 sisters. Do you understand? I hope you could understand. You could have an idea of paragraph 1. Now let us go on to paragraph 2. The northeastern regions of India is a place of diverse culture. The different communities and tribes of Northeast India celebrate their unique festivals with great enthusiasm and joy. Many of these festivals are based on agriculture, and no celebration is complete without traditional music and dance. Now here also we come across or we find some unfamiliar or new words. Let us try to understand their meanings. The first word, diverse. Diverse means variety, various, vivinno. Okay. So culture. Culture means the customs, traditions, and beliefs of a particular locality or an area. हमें जहाँ कुछ संस्कृति को. Unique means the only one of its kind. Only one of its kind. Okay. That's called Swatantro. Swatantro in Odia. Now, enthusiasm, great eagerness. We celebrate festivals with great enthusiasm, isn't it? Great eagerness. Utshaha. Now, traditional means long established, parampariko. Jaha paramparagat, parampariko. So these are the words. Now, with the help of those words, let us try to understand the meaning of the second paragraph. Now, what does it talk about? What does the second paragraph talk about? The northeastern region of India and their cultural heritage and the festivals, the region of celebrating festivals, isn't it? So the northeastern region of India is a place of diverse culture. So many cultures can be found in the northeastern part of our country. Now, people belong to different communities and tribes. Several communities are there, several tribes are there, and they celebrate the unique festives with joy and enthusiasm. Those people have got celebrations, they celebrate their festivals with great joy and enthusiasm. Most of the festivals of that part of the country are based on agriculture. Agriculture. We will try to know about that. We will find out for ourselves that most of their festivals are based on agriculture. Now, another aspect, traditional music and dance are common to almost all festivals. There are so many festivals celebrated there, and almost all of them are celebrated having music and dance in it. They are a part and parcel of any festival they celebrate. Okay. Now, we have already completed SGP1, Sense Group Paragraph 1, consisting of Paragraph 1 and Paragraph 2. Now, let us try to know how much we could understand. For that, I'm administering a comprehension check. In this particular segment, you can find some questions. I will read out the questions, and before the answer appears on the screen, just try to answer yourselves. I know you could have an idea, and with that idea, you can be able to answer all the questions and try. Let's go. Question 1. How many states are there in Northeast India? Very easy. The answer is 8. Now, question 2. Which states are together known as the land of seven sisters? You know that perhaps, isn't it? The answer is Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Tripura. These are the 7 states which are treated as land of seven sisters. Now, why isn't Sikkim included in the land of seven sisters? Because Sikkim is not a contiguous part. It is not a contiguous part. Okay. Next question. How is Sikkim geographically not a contiguous state? Why is Sikkim not a contiguous state? The answer, it is separated. It is separated from the northeast by Siliguri corridor. Now, the next question. What role does Sikkim play? Because it is not included in the land of seven sisters, what role does it play? The role of a little brother. How do the people of northeastern regions of India celebrate their festivals? With great enthusiasm and joy, isn't it? Okay. What is most of the festivals of northeastern India based on? They are based on agriculture. Okay. What are the 2 important parts of celebrating the festivals of Northeast India? Can you tell? Yes, of course, it is. They are music and dance. Very good, children. Now let's go on to paragraph 3. Blessed with lush greenery and the mighty river Brahmaputra, the people of Assam have a lot to celebrate. Bihus are among the major cultural festivals of Assam. There are a series of 3 prominent festivals: Rongali Bihu, Kongali Bihu, and Bhogali Bihu. Rongali Bihu, also known as Bohag Bihu, is celebrated in mid-April with the onset of spring and the beginning of the sowing season. It also marks the start of a new year there. Kongali or Kati Bihu is celebrated in mid-October when the fields are lush but the barns are empty. On this occasion, people light lamps and pray to God for a thriving harvest season and to guide souls to heaven. Bhogali, called Magh Bihu, is observed in mid-January. The festival symbolizes the end of the harvest season. It is a thanksgiving when the crops have been harvested and the barns are full. Now, here also we find some new words, some words which are new for you. Now, let's deal with them. The first word is lush. Lush means dense, ghoncho. Okay. Another word, greenery. Greenery means growing plants. Sabujima. Okay. Mighty. Mighty means powerful, powerful. Okay. Powerful. Major. Major means important. Very important. Pramukha. Okay. Now, onset. Onset means beginning. Beginning. Arambha. Barns. Barns means houses where we keep the harvest. Okay. ଆମେ ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ତାକୁ ଖମାର ଘର ବୋଲି କହୁ. Okay. Okay. Thriving. Thriving means ever growing. Ever growing. Okay. Symbolize. Symbolize means mark. Mark. Mark means suchito kariba. Okay. Now let's go on to understand the paragraph. Okay. Okay. What is this paragraph about? This paragraph is about the Bihu festivals of Assam. Okay. Now, as you have gone through seeing, Bihu festivals are observed in different times of the year. Now, let us try to study them. I have presented it in the form of a table. Just look at the table, you will understand. First, the name of the festival, name of the Bihu festival, and the other name of that festival, and the time of celebration, and the manner in which it is celebrated, and the purpose of its celebration. Okay. Now let us deal them one by one. The first one is Rongali Bihu. Rongali Bihu is otherwise known as, or the other name of Rongali Bihu is Bohag Bihu. It is observed in mid-April, in the middle of April. Onset of spring, beginning of sowing season. Now, on this occasion, people put on traditional clothes, sing melodiously, and dance with brisk steps. Now, the purpose, what is the purpose? To mark the beginning of the new year. Okay. Now, let us go on to the second part. Kongali Bihu. Kongali Bihu is otherwise known as Kati Bihu. Kati Bihu is celebrated in mid-October when the fields are lush and the barns are empty. People light lamps, sing melodiously, and dance with brisk steps on Kongali Bihu. And they pray God for a thriving harvest and to guide souls to heaven. Now, the third type of Bihu is Bhogali Bihu, which is otherwise known as Magh Bihu. It is celebrated in mid-January at the end of the harvest season when the barns are full. They are full with crops. Now, they sing and dance with brisk steps. It is a thanksgiving ceremony for the rich harvest nature has given them. So, this is all about paragraph 3. Let us now try to go on to paragraph 4. Any Bihu celebration is considered incomplete without melodious folk songs and traditional dance. The Bihu dance is joyous one. Young men and women get in their best traditional attire and perform the dance with brisk steps and hand movement. The tune of traditional musical instruments including cymbals, bamboo clapper, dhol, which is similar to a drum, and the pepa, which is a wind instrument made of buffalo horn, add different kind of flavor to the dance as well as the atmosphere. The songs have been handed down through many generations. Now let us try to understand the words which are new to us. Attire. Attire means dress, ba bostro, poshako. Brisk means energetic and active. Cholo choncholo. Flavor. Flavor means taste. Taste. Hand down. Hand down means pass on. Pass on. Hastantara kariba. Generation means people of the same age group. Pidhi. Pidhi. हमें जहाँ को. Now let us try to understand the paragraph better. This paragraph is about the Bihu dance. Now the Bihu dance is a joyous dance. Young people wear their best traditional dresses and clothes. They dance with brisk steps and hand movements. Hand movements, as you can see in the figure on the screen, on the image on the screen. They play music with the traditional musical instruments like cymbals, bamboo clapper, dhol, and pepa. Now you can find those all those musical instruments, the images. You see bamboo clapper, dhol, pepa, cymbal. You can have an idea of those musical instruments. They use these musical instruments to make the songs more melodious. Okay, they sing songs, and the songs which have been handed down through many generations, generation after generation, they hand down the songs. That means they learn from their fathers, their father learned from their grandfathers, and so on. So this is all about paragraph 4. Now let us here try to understand how much we could uh, have the idea of Bihu festival and Bihu dance. I am putting questions and the answers will appear on the screen. Try to do it yourselves. Okay. Question number 1. What is the name of the major river of Assam? Okay. It must be the Brahmaputra. Next. How many types of Bihus are celebrated in Assam? Obviously, 3 types. Okay. Next question. What is the Rongali Bihu otherwise known as? It's known as Bohag Bihu. Okay. When is Rongali Bihu celebrated? Rongali Bihu is celebrated in mid-April. Mid-April. Okay. What is the other name of Kongali Bihu? Kongali Bihu is otherwise known as Kati Bihu. Kati Bihu. Now, when is Kongali Bihu celebrated? You must be remembering. It's celebrated in mid-October, middle of October. When do the Assamese pray to God to guide souls to heaven? In Kati Bihu or Kongali Bihu? Which Bihu festival is celebrated in mid-January? It's Bhogali Bihu or Magh Bihu, isn't it? Okay, in which of the Bihus the barns are full? Now in Bhogali Bihu. Which wind instrument is blown at the time of Bihu dance? The pepa. Okay, how do the Assamese perform the Bihu dance? They perform the Bihu dance in their best traditional attire with brisk steps and hand movements, isn't it? Okay. What are the different musical instruments played during the Bihu dance? The cymbals, bamboo clapper, the dhol, and the pepa. So I suppose you could understand more about the Bihu dance and the Bihu festivals. Now, okay, children, it's time to wind up this session. Take care of your health. Take care of your studies, children. In the next class, we will deal about the festivals of other North